Hi everybody, this is Renee and you are doing fundraising with Renee. So today I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen with you. For all of us Avon reps, I want you to go ahead and go to youravon.com. Go ahead and enter your account number and your password. You're going to go ahead and log in. When you guys log in, your homepage may look a little bit different than mine, and that's okay. We're on the new Avon 0.2 system, which I am absolutely loving. It is amazing. I love this. So your dashboard, which is your homepage, may look a little bit different than mine. That's okay. Do not let that fool you. What we're going to do when we get in here, you are going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. My internet's a little bit slower when I share a screen, so I apologize for that in advance. We are going to keep scrolling. What I'm going to do with this video for you guys is I'm going to take you through step by step in the entire fundraising process from point A to point Z to help you all be successful, to get more fundraisers, to get more customers, to get more team members if that's what you would like to do, because the whole point of doing a fundraiser is to help your community, to help grow your team, to help grow your sales, to help grow, your customer base. Okay, doing a fundraiser is not going to make you rich, but it will help you long term. So if you can see long term, then this is a game plan for you. Okay, so I'm here at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see video gallery, deal central, sales incentives, and Avon fundraising. Okay, you're also going to see Avon Advantage. This is going to come into play in just a little bit. So we're going to go to Avon fundraising, grow your business. Click on that link right there. And this isn't hard. You don't really have to write all of this down. You can go back and look at this repeatedly. And here we are. All right. We've already talked about organizations, helping your community, and the earnings that fundraising can provide. It can provide up to 50% earnings. That's entirely up to you. You cannot guarantee any more than 50% because 50% has to go back to Avon. Okay. This is also going to put you on the Fast Track to President's Club, and or Honor Society, or whatever goal that you are working towards. Okay. Your role as an Avon fundraising specialist, you are the main contact within the organization's leader. Provide advice, support, and quality Avon products to help the organization achieve maximum results. The organization and volunteers are responsible for the fundraising and the sales. Okay, make sure we're going to get into all of that, so don't freak out on me. Stay with me step by step. So your first task that we're going to look at is finding an organization and helping them out. So first of all, is like, who needs help? Everybody needs help. So I watched a movie a long time ago, and I don't know if any of you have kids. It's called Robots, not the Will Smith movie, but the Robin Williams movie, the cartoon, and had Big Weld and Big Weld Industries. And Big Weld said, see a need, fill a need. And that's what fundraising is. It is you see a need and you fill it. You may not be able to make products or make product, I just say it makes products, but you can at least help an organization with funds, providing a product to help them with funds. So it's spreading the word. Here's what you need to do first. Make a list of organizations that you're personally involved with, whether it is church, whether it is 4-H club, kids and band, grandkids, nieces, nephews, anybody you know. Kids organizations are always the best. Write those people down. If you want to take a couple minutes, pause this, write those people down. Cheerleading, choir, band, any sports, whether it's football, soccer, tennis, baseball. These kids need uniforms. They got to raise money to go to tournaments, trips, whatever. Bands, the 8th graders, in our area, they have to go on a trip to Washington, D.C. every year. All of these things cost money, and parents don't always have that money. So fundraisers are a great fill-in for this. Okay, so now you can use the flyers that Avon has. We're going to look at that in a moment. You can post it up on bulletin boards. You can hand them out to friends. You can put them in your orders and hand those out to people and just say, hey, if you know of anybody who's looking for something, let me know. I'm a fundraising specialist. Don't tell them if you don't know what you're doing. You're going to fake it till you make it. That's what we train for. Okay. So that's one thing, making the right connections. Okay. Here's where we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. We're not always going to know exactly the correct person to get in contact with. Okay. The biggest thing is if you have a child in school and you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, that's always going to be your first go-to. My child is in middle school now, and the PTO president, I know her, but she's not the person who makes that final decision. It is the chairperson of the committee. That person makes that decision. So even though I have an inside connection, I still have to have someone else. So she has to go to the head chairperson. Well, my best friend is really good friends with the chairperson. So sometimes you got to grease the axle wheels and talk with who you know to get an inside track. Sometimes you may not have that. Okay. You're going to have to just go on your makeup, Avon Good Looks, and your personality and go with it. All right. Avon gives you 3 phone scripts. I'm going to pull up one of those. We're going to look at it real quick. I'm not going to pull up all 3 because time constraints. You guys can do that on your own. You're adults. But just to let you see what Avon has provided for us, the goal of this is to be able to make a face-to-face appointment with this person. So hello, this is Renee. I'm an Avon representative. I'm currently offering organizations in your area the opportunity to raise funds by selling Avon products. I'd like to set up an appointment to show you the Avon fundraising materials. Would you have time next week? Or do you have time? Would you have time next week? You can change it any way you want to. That's the beauty of this. Yay! If you cannot get a commitment, say, if you prefer, I can tell you about them right now. Then there's script 3. You might want to have all 3 of these pulled up on your computer at the same time. Okay. Enter the answers on your contact worksheet. We'll look at that in a second. And then use these next 3 questions to develop a relationship with the organization leader and identify the fundraising need. Before we meet, I would like to know about your needs. When are you planning to hold your next fundraiser? Is there something you're working on now? How much do you need to raise? That is a key question, okay? How many participants are going to be involved? What type of fundraisers have you had in the past? Were they successful? What did you wish you did different? Asking questions is going to be your key to helping them make more money, okay? And then set up an appointment as soon as possible. You don't want them to change their mind. Not that they would, but it can happen. Enter your date on the contact worksheet. If you still can't schedule a meeting, offer to mail a presentation package. Read the rest of this. If you don't give you don't need to give a lot of detail on the phone. Make it exciting when you meet them in person, okay? Because a lot of people want to just, oh, here we have everything. Woo! And you don't always want to do that. I'm guilty. I'll just tell you that right now. And before you, let's see, check over your organization earning the earnings chart right here. The money that they can earn, there's 3 charts Avon has provided, a 30%, 35%, and a 40%. Now, you all can do exactly what you like. I start a little lower on the earnings chart, and then I work my way up. And I don't usually offer 30%. You can see right here, if you have 10 people selling and they have 10 customers, average sales are $15 per person. That gives them $1,500 in sales, and then their average earnings are going to be $450, okay, for 10 kids doing something, okay? If they're doing the exact same thing, you give them 35%, it's $525. That's a little more appealing. I usually put them in 35% first, and then I will negotiate up to 40% because that's $600, that's $75 more. And that's usually where I stay, is at 40. The only time I give 50% is if it is my church. We usually do every Christmas time, which is from now until Christmas, we do the fundraising of the stuffed animals, whether it is Herbie the Hedgehog, we've done the owl, the elephant, everything, and we donate the stuffed animals to children in the neighborhood who would not normally have Christmas gifts. So I do not have to do any bagging. I don't have to do any invoices, and I don't have to do any flyers. So there's nothing that comes out of my pocket. No expenses, no time. All I do is put the orders in. Our church writes me a check. Boom, boom, boom. It's the easiest fundraiser I've ever done. So with that, I can give them 50% because that goes to help my child for summer camp, and it goes to help the community. Like I said, that's me, and that's the only time I do 50%. Well, not the only time. I'm working on getting another fundraiser. We've got an officer who, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, so here's another thing you can do. They also give you letters in here as well. Once you have the name of the person in contact for fundraising, you can either phone that person directly, or you can email or mail a flyer and a letter, snail mail. I know it's unheard of, but we do that. And don't forget to follow up. There are 2 sample letters that are already crafted just for you so that you can send it to them. Okay. Now, all you have to do is just change the heading on the address information and the name and the phone numbers, and just go with it. It's just all generic in there for you. Okay. So when you're in here, dun, 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 here's some of the things you're going to come across. Typical fundraisers, with candy bars, you get 1 candy bar, 1 t-shirt. Avon these are common objections that I call them. Avon calls it this, but I call it objections that we're going to overcome. And I want to make sure I share this with you all. If somebody buys 1 candy bar, they may buy 2, for $1, $2, whatever they've gotten up to now. T-shirts, they may buy 1, may buy 2, who knows. But with Avon, we have a variety of products. We've currently got 7 flyers of different products available. Okay. And the earning potential is great. Most of the time, those are like 1 product, you eat it, you're done. Cookie bar, candy bar, you're once and done. Great thing about Avon is we have products that you can use and use and use, and they're healthy for you. Makeup doesn't hurt you, doesn't add calories to you. Herbie the Hedgehog, he is awesome. He's cuddly. Kids love him. He provides comfort and stability. Our Bug Guard's going to protect you and your children from Zika and mosquitoes and all other kinds of bugs. We have the votive candles. Now that might be the only dangerous one in there. We just won't say anything. And some people are saying, well, if we get, if we do a donut, if we do the donut company and stand on the street corner, we can have 50% product. Yes, but they'll inflate the product, the prices to still get their money out of it, and yes, you still will get half. Then again, that still causes calories and contributes to the obesity in this country. Ha ha ha, I'm just teasing. And see, our daughter did cookie dough, a tub of cookie dough. They only got $2 per tub of cookie dough, and it was $13. And I was upset, so I was PTO president, and we worked something out. Anyway, and the other objection we get sometimes is, how will I know people are going to like the Avon product? Well, you can always tell them this. Avon has a 100% money-back guarantee. If people are not satisfied with their products, they get 100% of their money refunded. Okay, so, and they've got 90 days to do that. So if they buy the Bug Guard, they don't like it, they get their money back. No harm, no foul. So that's a great thing as another benefit. So make sure you share that when you're talking with the organization's leader. Okay, earnings potential we have already talked about. We need to address all the costs when we're talking with the organization president. or whoever we're talking with, you've got to consider your bags. You have to consider if you're going to do tissue paper or not. Some people like to do that, some people don't. Or receipt books are free. That won't come into it. If you're going to make flyers up, the envelopes, to write down how much to charge, that kind of thing, all of those cost a little bit of money. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. And you can find, I'm going to flip over to the screen right here. We're going to look at this because this information is, oops, we're going to flip back one more. I should have had this pulled up for you. I'm sorry. This is available on our partner store through Avon Advantage. And that partner store is Town & Country. And they are absolutely wonderful because they have Avon logoed products. And this is another thing that you want to do. We'll talk about this in just a few moments too, is to make yourself very presentable. See, Avon Advantage just popped up. You're going to scroll down here on the left side, Town & Country. Go to Town & Country. Look, it pops up in a new window. This is Boss Life. Click on Shop Now. Now, over here on the left-hand side, there is fundraising. Click on that little link right there. Voila. Now, just for this weekend, since it's Labor Day weekend, you guys probably will not get this in time. They have a deluxe fundraising kit, but normally there is a fundraising kit. You can get them English, Spanish, what have you. You can order different things that you need. Usually the fundraising bundle, I'm going to peek at this real quick. It has 10 of all the flyers. That way you can get 10 organizations at one time, or you can at least have 10, yeah, there's 10 organizations at one time. Instead of having them all individually. If you want to print these off individually, you may do so. I suggest you print it on cardstock or laminate it, or both. There are promotional tear-off flyers. You've got a presentation booklet that would help you. Bookmarks, you can do that. We have thank you cards. We'll talk about those as well. Here is the collection envelope that we were just discussing. Let's see if I can click on this to enlarge a little bit. You can't see too much. But this is the envelope that you're, depending on how many people you have. Hi, my name is so-so. I'm raising money for whatever. My goal is to raise blah, blah, blah. And so if you have, cheerleaders wanting to, raise money for new cheer uniforms or raising a trip to go to a competition or whatever, then this is what they're going to put their money in here for. Okay, and that's how they're going to bring the money back to you. And then you can see everybody's collected their money properly, everything's documented properly, and that way you know that everything is done correctly. Okay, so I'm going to go back to where we were, get us right back on track. Sorry about that. And I forgot even where we were when we were doing this. I apologize. I almost wish y'all could ask questions while we're doing this, but nobody's on. So it's just me and you. But the best thing that you can do with your fundraiser is make sure that you are completely and totally professional. Had a leader who got a folder, put all the flyers in the folder, made up a letter telling about her, telling about the fundraising opportunity, put her card in there, everything, and dropped it off in person to the organization that she was looking at, because the person was not available that day. She was hoping that they would be, but they were not when she was there. Oops, I choose my flyers and that's not the flyer I wanted. So, and so she's waiting to hear back, hopefully. Oh, we were still on, she's in your organization. Wow. So, timing, and so that, like I said, those are some of the costs. I didn't even look at the cost on that one. Sorry, y'all. It's not that much as far as the costs go. Did I not write that down? Oh, let's see, 50 of the fundraising envelopes. They're 9 by 12, and they are $12.95. And if you have 25, they're $6.95. And then if you're doing the deluxe kit that I showed you, it's $12.95. So you're looking at 13 if you just do that, and then 7 more. So you're looking at $25. I mean, it's a couple of bucks really in the long run, depending on, like I said, the size of your organization and what they're doing. So you need to make sure some of the things you need to consider is when your fundraiser is going to start, when it's going to end, how many coordinators you're going to have, how many participants you're going to have, when the due dates are going to be. Your fundraiser does not have to have a 2-week time frame. You can have your fundraiser go for two or 3 months if you need to. That's fine. Avon just needs to know how long your fundraiser is going to go, just so they can make sure they have the quantities available for you and your fundraiser. You need to make sure that they know when the due date is. Like if you're going to set it up every Monday, if you're going to set it up every Friday, if you're going to set it up every Wednesday, whatever, every other, whatever, you make sure everybody's clear on that. The expected delivery dates and payments to you, and who's going to help package the orders. My personal opinion is I would make everybody who's participating help package the orders. I would do, depending on how many people are participating, if you have more than 10 people participating and taking orders, I would be putting an order in every week, because large orders get all really hard to handle when they come in. And when the orders come in, I would go to the school, I would go to the church or wherever it is. I would have everybody meet Saturday morning, mid-afternoon, whatever it is, and say, okay, we've got an hour, shouldn't take more than that. Everybody take your own orders, and here, let's get them all together and get everybody organized and do it that way. Okay, and then everybody staple receipts on the outside of the bags and this and that. Okay. Now, prize programs. You can do this. I'm going to let you guys read this yourselves. I do not do prize programs. I have not done them. Unless I have a really huge organization, I mean, unless it's something that's going to be like a $10,000 fundraiser, I wouldn't do it, because it looks good, but then it's going to cost you more money. But like I said, unless it's a huge one, I wouldn't do it. But that is your personal preference, and this is your business. You do it how you see fit. Just personally for me, not my cup of tea, would not really do it. Okay, now, choosing your products and your flyers. You're going to try and recommend the products that are going to work best for their organization. Because they may be like, the cheerleaders, makeup may work great for them. The candles may, other things may not. If it's the boys JV football team, makeup is not going to work for them. I mean, it is just not going to. So you've got Bug Guard Skin So Soft Moisture Therapy, a new mini moisturizers, Avon True Color Lipstick, Herbie the Hedgehog, and the votive candle set. Okay. Herbie is my favorite. And a lot of people are like, well, high school kids are not going to want to do this. But I will tell you something. It's a community-based fundraiser. And if you get high school kids selling a stuffed animal and then donating it to a children's shelter, a homeless shelter, or giving it to fire, EMS, or police, so that they can take it to children who parents, got hurt in a car wreck, or they've been having to take and go into foster care or something, I will tell you, those kids will absolutely love Herbie the Hedgehog. It will be a godsend for them. So you got some kids who are stubborn. That is a perfect fundraiser to try and get them involved in. Okay. Now, registering your fundraiser with Avon. This is the place you're going to do that. I'm going to pull this flyer up for us, and we're going to take a look at it real quick. This is the tax exempt guidelines for fundraising. I know it has 2017, but it hasn't changed for 18. You can read through this what you need to know basically is if your organization is tax exempt, if they're a 501(c) nonprofit organization, that is a federal tax code. If they're a school, church, any kind of nonprofit foundation, they are exempt from paying shipping, they're exempt from paying taxes. Yay them. So that plays into your costs as well, okay, and how you're going to figure out how everything is going to be paid for, okay? Very, very, very important. But Avon needs two pieces of documentation. Number one, they need their an organization, they need letterhead from that organization that has to be signed by an officer or a head of that organization with their title, with the federal tax ID number, stating that they are qualified exempt under the 501(c) rule, okay, for a fundraiser event. Number two, and it also states that they are intending to participate in the fundraiser. So if you're at a school or a church, they need to provide that. And number two, a properly executed and signed state tax exempt certificate. Yay! So you do not have to have these two pieces of document before you start the fundraiser or before the first order goes in. What will happen is if you don't have it, that first order or whatever, go ahead and put the order in. Avon will recognize that you're working on it. They're still going to have that tax and shipping put in there, but they will take that off of your bill or they'll credit your account or whatever when you get that piece of documentation in. Okay, and you can basically take a picture of it and email it to them. Okay, if you don't have a fax machine, they are very, very good about that. Okay, so, and you can look and read all the information through here, and all of that is fairly self-explanatory and very easy. I'm going to tell you this right here, but when you start doing your fundraiser, you can call me, text me, email me, whatever, when we talk about this. But you will forget this and it will be okay. Actually, no, it won't, but you need to remember this when you get in here. When you process your fundraiser, please do it separately from your order. Please, please, please. Trust me, it will make your life easier. It'll make Avon's life easier, because you need to go in there when you do your product number. Here it says enter items. When you enter the item, put in 045642 and then put in 1. Okay, because that will let them know that's a fundraiser, and then you put in your fundraiser items underneath that. Okay, ship that off, get that one done, and then you can place a whole another order after it, but make sure that order is done separately. Okay, please, 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 because these are done separately from everything else. It's in a separate, I don't know if it's in a separate warehouse or not, but it makes everything easier. Now, all your information is here. You'll notice when you pull it up, your name, address, all that good stuff's already pre-printed in here for you. Automatically comes up with today's date. You will put in the organization's name, their tax ID number, if they have one, their address, phone number. You can put yours in there if you want to, and you can put your contact number and information in if you want to. It doesn't matter what you do. Then you will select your flyer type. They need to do that. If you're going to do 2 flyers, that's fine. If they decide they want to do 2 different flyers, what campaign you're going to place it in, how many people are going to be participating, and then the estimated number of sales. So if they're telling you, hey, we need to raise $500, you need to put $500 in sales in there. That way they know how much product to keep out for your fundraiser. Okay, if you slip up and do more, it's fine. It's all okay, but they need to know ahead of time. Okay. Okay, we're done with that one. That's not hard. Yay! That's probably the easiest part of everything. Okay, so managing your fundraiser. All right, now you've got it. You've got it registered. Life is moving along. Now, what do we do now? Okay, here's what we're going to do. Every time I read this, I think it says schedule a lunch meeting. I wonder if it means I'm hungry. So here are some tips in what I would do. I would meet with everybody who's going to be involved as far as coordinators, not necessarily the kids who are going to be involved, but at least a week ahead of time. And I would have them promote this, whether it's on social media, whether they promote this, within the church and the church bulletin, church newsletter, whether it is at school. If they have morning announcements, then have them promote it over morning announcements. Hey, don't forget, send flyers home from school and the kids' backpacks and whatever. Send it home. Hey, don't forget, we got, fundraiser coming up. We know we need everybody's help, participation. This is what it's going for. And the school can help with that. You can, make up a flyer and give it to them and have them print it up. You wouldn't have to be responsible for that, I wouldn't think, but that's part of the discussion you guys would have. Let's see. I would even, when you're doing this launch, even have a kickoff. If it's older kids or even, middle school older kids, depending on the organization that you're doing, maybe have a kickoff. Hey, it's like a grand opening of a store, a big, huge blowout sale or something. Try and have something fun associated with it, it's like, I'm thinking like clowns and balloons and bouncy houses and stuff. And I'm like, no, we can't do all that because that's expensive. But, kind of brainstorm with coordinators and say, hey, what could we come up with to, really make this fun for everybody? Because, if they're doing something for the football players or the cheerleaders or something like that, why not have a little pep rally? Hey, we're going to go to state. We're going to go do this, and get everybody excited. As you can do all that stuff for free. Then we're going to discuss, once again, benefits of selling Avon products, review the schedule, make sure everybody's clear on their responsibilities and their duties, make sure everybody's got your phone number and the hours you're available. Very, very, very important. Make sure everybody's got their flyers, order forms. When everybody brings everything back, make sure the orders are accurate, make sure everybody's got money correct. And then, of course, we're going to help pack the orders, correct contents, customer's names on bag, and make sure they're going to have a note from you that says thank you in every customer's order, and make sure the participants pick up their orders. But we're going to try and make sure the participants are there packing their own orders, if at all possible, depending on, how our fundraiser goes. If you have to, I always thought with making sure the dates are clear, if you, I was trying to think of this, don't make, with the dates, make sure you're not stressing yourself out. Don't stress your participants out, whether it's kids, parents, teachers, whoever's helping facilitate this thing. Don't stress everybody out. So if you're having orders, do every Wednesday or every other Wednesday, and then they get back to you Monday or Tuesday, just set up, that next week, on the next Saturday, 10 days out, we'll get orders together. We'll do this, blah, 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 and make sure everybody has everything together. Okay. So it's not so rushed and hurried, because nobody wants to be rushed. Nobody wants to be hurried. And it may be on the calendar, kids got ball games and things like that going on. Maybe the weekend of a holiday like it is now, people may be out of town. It'll all work out. Don't stress anybody else out. The biggest thing is just making sure the orders are accurate, making sure the products are there, and making sure the money is correct. That's your biggest worry. Let's see. You can make your own thank you notes. You can use the thank you notes Avon has in here. Let the organization know how much you're owed, so a check will be ready when you deliver the products, unless you're taking out of the cash that they're bringing to you. Either way, keep a record of each fundraiser. And I do believe I wrote down here. Oh, there is a collection tracker, and 10 of those is $2.95 if you wanted to buy those. So you can keep track. You can at least keep track of at least 10 fundraisers at one time. And if you bought one, you can make copies of it. And that will help you keep track of how successful you're being. And then next year, if the same people need the same help, you can help them again, and you can reach out again and again and again and do this year after year and make it kind of a tradition. Um, and again, we said, thank yous, notes, I was going to say samples, brochures, and make sure you follow up with those people. Okay. Follow up, follow up. Gotta love that word. Your fortune is in your follow up. Keep in touch with the coordinators. Tell them how much you loved working with them and you want to work with them again. If there's anyone else, that they know of that can use the same help that you just gave them. Let's see, if the organization had participants over the age of 18, like if you had, seniors in high school, something like that. I'm not so sure about that one. But within a week, send the chairperson a gift, and then a thank you note along with it. So, and I'm like, let y'all see that thank you note. It's really nice. I can't believe what a great job Avon has done, head to toe. There's 4 of them on here. See, you can take these, split these in 4, print them up, and put those in your order, in the order bags, and send those off. I'd put my label over top of this. I have labels I have created, and I would just boom, off they go. And that way people can contact you. And of course, your brochures, give those to other people, that kind of thing as well. So if you guys have any questions, you can contact me. That's what I'm here for. I am here to help. I do not think there was anything else left on fundraising. There was some great feedback from other reps. My goal is to hit Maui, this kind of thing. We've had a lot of successful representatives hit President's Club, in one campaign. I got to hear a lady in Charlotte, North Carolina. She told a story where she had started, she had like a couple of orders, this kind of thing. Her daughter was in cheerleading, and there was 20 girls on the squad, and they needed to do a fundraiser because they were going to a state competition, and those girls raised $10,000 in one campaign. That's 2 weeks, folks. And I just went. So she hit President's Club in 2 weeks. I was like, I'm struggling to do it in 26 campaigns. What are you talking about? So I found a source of inspiration at that point that, okay, if this woman can do it, I can do this too. So you just have to be on the lookout and ask the questions. And every no you get should fuel you to get to a yes. And like I said, those objections, well, we're going to go with, getting donuts and, doing this. Well, you know what? Your kids don't need to be standing on the corner, a dangerous corner with people driving, trying to get $2.50 for donuts. Guess what? We're going to give them 50% on Avon products that your family can use throughout the year, or we're going to give them a wonderful little Herbie the Hedgehog. You know what I mean? Let's think about this. And so I want you guys to start thinking outside the box and run some ideas by your family, friends, coworkers, whatever. And if you have more ideas, let me know. I'll be happy to share those and share your successes with us as well. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I want to thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.